Well, thank you for being with me here today as we launch our new season of the National Safety Council's Safety is Personal video series. In this season, we're going to be exploring the intersection between workplace and roadway safety. With 37% of all workplace-related fatalities in 2023 being related to a vehicle-related incident, workplace safety is roadway safety. We are here at 1 Center Street, and that is New York City's headquarters for their fleet operations for their citywide administration. And we're here today to talk to Keith Kerman, who is their Chief Fleet Officer. Let's go talk to Keith. Keith, thank you so much for being with me here today. It's great to see you again. We often start these dialogues by asking folks why safety is so personal to them. And I know it is personal to you as it is to me, but would you mind sharing a story with us today of why safety is so personal to you?
Sure, and thank you, Lorraine, for all the work you're doing in safety and for being here with us at DCAS in our Fleet Office of Real-Time Tracking. So I grew up in a town, actually a city known as the town of Methuen in the state of Massachusetts. I went to public school, and we had a homeroom, and your homeroom stayed with you all 4 years in high school. And during high school, we had 4 tragic events involving vehicle crashes and young people. And then also my across the street neighbor, a young girl, just had gotten her license, was merging onto a highway, and she's actually buried very close to my father, who lived a long life and passed away late in his years. And right next to him is a young girl. And I was unusual for someone who grew up in a small town. I did not drive till after school, till after college. I remember telling my family that maybe it'd be a good idea if I lived to see college. So I saw very early on that these crashes and these cars were dangerous, that there were real implications, all the kind of loss, and have tried to carry that through into my work.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Certainly it has inspired you, and you're giving back every day. I have read that not only have you helped to make the streets safer here, but also you've done it by saving money and making our streets not only safer in New York City, but also more sustainable. Some folks would say, why start in New York City? It's so complex and so dense and has so many challenges, I would think, for making sure everyone stays safe. But you truly are leading the nation on some of these implementations and some of these requirements. So how do you deal with that diversity and that very complex environment that is New York City?
Well, first of all, New York City is great, and lots of great things start in New York and move elsewhere across the country. So we hope these safety initiatives will be part of that. In 2014, Mayor de Blasio introduced Vision Zero that has been furthered and continued to be championed by Mayor Adams. And it was a multi-agency effort to look at safety and all its components to reduce the number of fatal events and injuries on the roadway. Agencies working together, the Department of Transportation, our agency, the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, the Department of Health, the Sheriff's Office, the Police Department, all under the rubric of the Mayor's Office of Operations. So this interagency effort to really take on these issues. And we've made a lot of progress. There are lots of reasons to do it here. One, these fatal events change lives and are extraordinarily serious. If I told you that the city of New York was focused on murders at the police department level, and it was a priority of the city of New York, and that we were spending an enormous amount of resource to address murders, you would say, sounds right. Okay, there were 375 murders in the city of New York last year. There were 275 people who lost their lives, also victims, also planned to go home, but didn't get to do that. A fairly comparable number on the roadways. Yeah. So, when you hear that, the city might, hire thousands of police officers or spend billions of dollars on safety. Safety is on the front pages every day when it's talking about violent crime. Everyone says, yeah, what are you doing about that? Well, traffic safety is as important an issue if what you're concerned about is people being able to live their lives safely and get home to their families. And so, that should be an equal focus for us.
Absolutely. And we often say that every one of those losses was preventable. And you're looking at the technologies and the designs to make sure that we have those preventions in there so that those folks do go home at night. One of the ones I wanted to ask you about is what we call vulnerable road users. And you've implied and talked about pedestrians and bikes. I've been in New York City here for the last couple of days. You can really see the changes in the bike lanes and just how traffic is moved and who's on our roads these days. Can you talk a little bit about how the vulnerable road user, somebody not in a big metal box, has been a focus for you?
Absolutely. So let's talk about two initiatives that I mentioned a little bit. First, high vision trucks. Truck driving is a very hard occupation, and it's critical to us. Think about what happened during COVID, right? Who were the people out there making sure all of us could continue with our lives, getting us foods and medicines and services?
Delivery.
It was delivery operators and truck operators who were keeping things going. It's a tough job. And when you're driving a truck that is designed in the conventional way, that is a completely addressable issue. You do not have to design a truck this way. Right? You can't see the ground, right? It's not that you're an unsafe or dangerous operator. It's not that you're not doing your job. It's not that you don't care. It's that you've been designed in a unit that is like, it's impossible to see what's going around you.
So at the outset, we said that roadway safety is workplace safety. You embody that with the fleet and all of the drivers that you have that come to work every day, and work is being on the New York City streets. Can you just talk about how you see that responsibility of helping to keep your drivers who are out there doing their work in an area that we know has risk?
Absolutely. We have as many as 80,000 fleet operators, either full or part-time, who are authorized to operate our vehicles. And these are tough jobs, right? If you're operating an ambulance, if you're doing highway construction work while vehicles are racing by you. If you're up in a tree, in a tree trimmer, maintaining our tree canopy, or cleaning the beaches overnight to make sure people can enjoy them during the day. And that's how we clean the beaches. It's an overnight equipment operation. All of these are really complicated, difficult operations. So it's critical to us that our employees are as safe as possible. And we're doing a lot to do that. Part of that is training. Making sure that we impart the best practices to everyone. Part of that is educating the public about work zones and respecting city employees and public safety officials when they're working around, whether it's highway locations or if it's a water spill that our Department of Environmental Protection might be working on. So most of us, if there's something going on in the roadway, we're nowhere near it. But city employees have to engage it and be around.
That's their office. Yeah.
And let's be serious. We all know that a lot of motorists get impatient, and they just want to move along and are not always as respectful of people who are putting themselves at risk in doing that work. So it's a big priority for us that we are respecting our city employees who are out there in the field, in these vehicles, and doing what we can to keep them safe.
Well, you brought to life several different technologies for us. I think you have some trucks outside that we're going to get a chance to go see.
Absolutely.
All right, sir, what do we have here?
So we have here one of our decast box trucks. These trucks are used for major special events as well as for moving materials. And there are really 4 different safety implementations we want to talk about. First is the truck side guard, right? Basic, common sense, shield, making sure that a pedestrian, a child, can't get stuck in these back wheels. Think about how high this truck is. We also have turn alerts for pedestrians. So if this truck were turning right or left, it will make a sound alerting a pedestrian that a big truck is turning, to be careful, to be alert. The truck has telematics, right? So we're tracking everything.
Gotcha.
We have a surround camera for the driver so that the driver has a full panoramic view of what's going around the truck at all times.
Well, thank you for joining us here in New York as we kicked off our new season of Safety is Personal. Please join us again as we explore this important topic.